Hey everyone, welcome back to Pulse Central. I'm Mason. Grab your popcorn because today's stories are a complete disaster. From cheating boyfriends to fake friends, this is internet drama at its finest. Let's get into it.
Hey guys, get ready with me while I tell you how I caught my ex-boyfriend cheating with my best friend. Okay, so this was like a few months ago, but I was hanging out with my best friend, and my boyfriend knew this, and he was like, oh, can I come hang out with y'all? And I was like, sure, because this is like a normal thing, like we've done this before. Well, we've hung out in like groups, not really like a trio, but I asked my best friend, I was like, oh, is that fine, like can you come over? And this is like, I didn't really put it together, but she seemed a little bit too happy. But she was like, yeah, sure, like you can come over, that's fine. My ex comes over and we're like, what should we do? Let's just go in my basement and watch a movie or something. But before this, me and my best friend were playing pickleball, so I was like kind of sweaty, and if my ex was coming over, like I would want to be clean. So I go and take a shower. I go in the shower, and before I go in, they're like sitting across from the couch, like they're not even close together or anything, so I'm like, I didn't think anything of it. And I'm probably in the shower for like 10 minutes, and then I realized I didn't have my conditioner because it was the basement shower, so I put my towel on me, and I go upstairs to get my normal conditioner. That's when I walk out. I see them on the couch together, blanket over them, and I see pants on the ground. So I'm literally wrapped in a towel, and I'm like, I'm gonna give y'all 1 minute before I completely lose my shit. So I go back in the bathroom, put my clothes back on with my hair like literally soaking, I didn't even dry it off, and I go back in, they're like uncovered, and then my best friend tries to run up the stairs, and she's like, oh, I'm just gonna leave y'all to it, like I'll just go. And then that's when I completely turn into a psychopath, because I mean, who wouldn't? So she's running up the stairs, and I'm screaming at her, and I grab a book off the bookshelf and throw it at her. It doesn't hit her head, it hits like her shoulder, but she starts like crying like I just attacked her. Well, I mean, I did. So this is when my boyfriend makes a run for it. He goes out like the back door of my basement, and so I leave my best friend, she's like crying on the stairs, and I run out the door with like chasing my boyfriend. And mind you, I didn't have the best taste in men, so he was literally a bum. He didn't have a car to drive, he didn't have a job, so he was trying to run home. Like he only lives like 0.5 miles away, so he's trying to run, and I get in my car and I just like full throttle. But when I reach him, obviously I slow down, but it still kind of like bumps him, so he goes like and under the car. But I didn't run him over. It was like a little love tap, you know? Well, obviously no love, full of hate. So he comes up from the car, and this is where I like was actually dying laughing, because he's like, I'm so sorry, like I don't deserve you, literally hit me again with your car, just run me over. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, please calm down, like why am I telling you to calm down? And I'm just like, go to your house, give me all my stuff, and I never want to see you again. And then he pulls the bullshit, I didn't even want her, like she threw herself on me, she was trying to blackmail me. Be so fucking for real. So a few weeks later, not to my surprise, they start dating, and she's now pregnant with this kid. Maybe his kid, honestly, I don't even know. But it's okay, because I'm getting ready to hang out with his homeboy. So moral of the story, never let your best friend and boyfriend hang out, or they will both stab you in the back. But if they do, then you just run them over.
She thought it was just a movie night with her boyfriend and best friend, until one quick trip to grab conditioner exposed the ultimate betrayal.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna be doing a story time today on how my family basically like disowned me and stopped talking to me. So this happened about like 4 or 5 years ago, but it really started when I was 15 or 16, and I had moved out with my dad to go live with my aunt because me and my dad just got into a huge argument. So when I moved out, I was now living with my aunt, her husband, and my 2 cousins. We were living in a townhome, and so we moved to a house that had a room for me, and we started living there, and everything was perfectly fine. Like I went to school, I had a job, like, you know, like my life was good, like I was good. Okay, so a part of the story that we're gonna have to remember is that I would always garden at night, and when I gardened at night, my aunt's husband was always outside, and he would always be smoking his cigars and like drinking and doing all that, but like that's at the same time that I would garden at night, you know? Okay, so this is where like the story actually begins now, like of what happened to me. So one night I went to go garden like I normally would. It was like a little normal day, you know, just regular vibes, and I had went outside and he started talking to me. So at the time I was having a fallout with my friend group, and I didn't really have any friends except my new friends that I made, which was like a little guy friend group, and it was fun, it was cool. Like I'm not even trying to be on that type of shit, but it was like a good little friend group, you know? My uncle had asked me why I stopped being friends with my like girlfriends, like, and it just like the way he was asking the questions were super weird. He asked me like, why do you think your friends aren't friends with you? Like, do you think it's because of your bodies, because you're pretty? Like, what do you think it is? And I was just like, I don't know, like we just fucking fell out, that's it. So then he started asking me about my new friend group, like the one with a bunch of guys, and he was being really inappropriate with it. So he then got onto the topic of my guy friends, and he was asking me basically why I was friends with them, and it started getting really inappropriate from there. He asked me if any of my guy friends ever tried to with me, and if they tried to mess with me in that kind of way, and I just thought it was a little weird, so I was just like, no, that's not happening, and it wasn't happening, and like we are just friends. Like I am allowed to have friends that are guys. So after that, this is where it gets really like weird. We were just sitting there and he had asked me to stand up, and I thought that was really weird, and he told me to stand up and turn around. So I was really thrown off by that, and I was like, what do you mean? And he told me to stand up and turn around, and I already felt super uncomfortable, so I kept telling him no. I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to do it. So I really didn't know what to do in this situation, and he asked me to stand up again, and I don't know why I did, but I stood up and I turned around. He then proceeded to grab my waist and try to pull me in towards him, and that is when, like, I really freaked out. So after that, I like turned back around and I was like, what are you trying to do to me? I was like, what are you doing? And he basically tried to back away. Like, he started like backing up, and literally, bro, when he backed up, he asked me again to fucking turn around, bro. This was like my last fucking straw. I ran back up to my room and I was debating on telling my aunt and my cousins. Like, when something like that happens to you and you're living with them, like, what do you do in that situation? What am I supposed to do? Like, am I gonna break up my fucking family? Am I going to make everyone fucking hate me? Like, I don't know what to do. So I just called my best friend at the time and I just told her everything that went down, and that was it. I kept my mouth shut for fucking months. And let me tell you, if you have ever been in this kind of situation, please speak up. Like, speak the fuck up as soon as it happens. Don't wait for a time. Don't care about what your family says. Don't care about what anyone's gonna say. Don't care about breaking up your family. It doesn't matter. Like, what matters is protecting yourself and protecting everyone else who can get harmed. So I didn't speak up for fucking months because I was terrified. I didn't want to move out of my house. I didn't know where I was gonna go. I had already left my dad, so where the fuck was I gonna go?
She thought moving in with her relatives would give her a fresh start. But one uncomfortable conversation changed her life forever.
I'm feeling so messy today. So I'm gonna tell you about the time that I dated another famous TikToker. I'm pretty sure he publicly cheated on me, but we'll get there. Disclaimer, this is no hate. This all happened years ago. Trust me, I am so over it. I just genuinely think it's funny as fuck. I started doing TikTok in the spring of 2019 and pretty quickly gained like a couple 100K. Fast forward to fall of 2019. One day I wake up and all of my comments are like, oh my god, go look at so-and-so's duet. And basically this really hot TikTok famous guy duetted one of my videos, like publicly flirting with me. I think I had like 200K or something. And he had like 1 million followers. So I was shook. DMs were slid and we started talking. The only problem was this guy is British. In fact, that was quite literally his whole brand. Like, being hot and British was his thing. We would like FaceTime a bunch and text a bunch, but ultimately we just lived on different continents, so it fizzled out. That was until the end of 2019 when we both realized we would be attending the same convention in March of 2020. The convention being Playlist Live, which is like a social media convention equivalent to VidCon. So then we started talking again all the time, falling asleep on FaceTime, the whole 9 yards. Because we knew we were actually gonna see each other in person. We both planned on getting to the convention a day early. He got a hotel room for just the two of us before we went to our Airbnb with the group that we were doing the convention with. March of 2020 comes around and it's time for the convention. We fly to Orlando, we meet up for the first time in the airport. It's low-key straight out of a movie. I like run and jump into his arms. I still have the video. It's actually like really fucking cute. But we were very much just like elated to finally meet in person. We go back to the hotel, we share a night together, and then we meet up with our friends the next day and we go to the convention. And then I shit you not, within like an hour of being in said convention. Mind you, this was like prime TikTok 2020. It is me and a group of other TikTok famous people. This was in my bright red hair era. Bitch, we were all getting stopped by fans like every 10 feet. For reference, this is the era I am talking about. I get a, hey girlie, DM on Instagram. And this girl comes with receipts. Basically the entire time leading up to the event where he was FaceTiming me every single night, he was essentially dating some girl back home in London. Granted, him and I weren't dating yet, so he wasn't like actually cheating on me, but he had explicitly told me he was not talking to anyone else. Meanwhile, he has like a whole ass little ting back home in the UK. And the gag was that he had told her he was gonna take her to Playlist Live. And he literally got a hotel room for him and I to share. Obviously, I'm pissed the fuck off. I just show him and I'm like, care to explain? He's like, oh, we can talk about it later. I was like, okay, well then bye. He just fucked off. I got the convention and went and met up with other friends. And for hours, our whole group was like, please come back. He's so upset. Like, he's so sad. He misses you. Later that night, we're all back at the Airbnb. We talked for like 2 hours. I gave him an ultimatum where I was like, look, I'm not gonna do this shit. You're either gonna date me or we're fucking over. Which in hindsight, I will never give a man an ultimatum like that again, because you shouldn't have to give a man an ultimatum. Like, if he likes you, he'll do it, you know? But he did it and he asked me to be his girlfriend. So we made it official that night. It genuinely gets so much fucking worse because one of the girl's friends sees all of this happening and thus begins one of the most insane stalking cyber harassment incidents of my entire career. This girl's friend proceeded to make 20 plus accounts across TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, where she would just DM me and post the most vile things about my appearance, about me, about our relationship. And this went on after we all went home from the convention. This was going on for like weeks. Back to the original plot of the movie. We say our goodbyes, and of course we're now officially dating and we're long distance. We agree that he's gonna fly out and live with me for a couple months because I had my own apartment in Utah and he was still living with his parents. But also I was working a full-time job. Like, I couldn't just up and go to London. He was doing social media full-time, so it just made sense. But I kid you not, as we're sitting in the airport waiting for our flights, I'm watching the news and it's like first confirmed COVID cases in Florida. And within like 2 weeks, the borders were closed. So he was stuck in the UK and I was stuck in Utah, which looking back is a fucking blessing in disguise, as Lord knows what would have happened if he did come come and live with me for a couple months. We tried to do the long distance thing for a couple months, and within that couple months, he got really into his Twitch streaming. It went from falling asleep on FaceTime every night to having to literally beg him to call me. So I started watching his streams from like a burner account so he wouldn't know I was on there. And he was gaming with this other girl, like full blown on Discord calls with her, and the chat was like shipping them, and like the chat also knew that I was his girlfriend. It was this whole fucking thing. This girl was like an OF model and content creator who like also kind of had her own following, so it was a mess.
What started as a flirty TikTok duet quickly turned into one of the biggest relationship disasters she has ever experienced.
Put a finger down if you were dating this guy and he walked into your life and he was quite literally everything that you have been waiting for. Truly had you questioning, God, is this you? Did you put this guy in my life? He displayed every quality that I had been looking for. He was like nice. He was emotionally intelligent. He was understanding and listened and was attentive. He had a good relationship with the Lord. He just, he's funny. So many things, right? Yeah, he was great. And then one day, as in yesterday, he got a little drunk and we got home and he decided, I'm gonna just pop 2 gummies. Oh, are you? Okay. Yeah, pop 2 gummies. Also, when I got home from work, he had like a display of like things he bought me with like rose petals and like a candle and wine glasses and like got me some takeout. I got in and I was like, that's sus, like that's sweet, right? Obviously. But my intuition was like, what did this man do? What is he trying to compensate for? And I've had an intuition, like a feeling in my gut that something about this man wasn't right. But he was so great that I just chalked it up to like my trauma, my overthinking, right? So I was like, you need to just trust this man. Wrong. Never trust a man. Don't ever trust a man. Yeah, so anyway, we got here. He popped 2 gummies. He was out of his gosh darn mind. And he kept going on about, and I was sitting there, I'm completely sober, I just got home from work, right? He kept going on about, babe, I need to tell you something. Babe, now would be a perfect time to tell you. And then he wouldn't finish the sentence. I was like, tell me what? Like, what are you hiding? Like, my mind went there. I was like, what are you trying to hide? It was almost like he was like outing himself and then like realizing, oh my gosh, this is Shannon, I'm talking to my girlfriend right now. And then like dialed it back in, right? Yeah, so that was happening. I eventually put him to bed. He slept on the couch. I went into my room, grabbed his phone, and sat in my room for 4 hours on his phone. I'll explain. As I was going through his phone, I got in there with his password. I realized that I'm really not coming across anything because he went into messages, deleted messages, there was nothing there. I went into like search history, that was all cleared out. He had like an app for like hidden apps, and I got into that, there was nothing in there. And I was like, this man's really trying to like cover something up. Like the fact that he went to extreme lengths to like make shit disappear, right? Yeah, so I decided, I was like, there's something. I'm gonna find something because I don't delete stuff off my phone. Like I'm a normal human being. And so I went to TikTok and I was like, hey TikTok, like, how do you get into a man's phone? What to look for when you're going through your man's phone? Found some good stuff, did I? Yeah, lots of good tips and tricks. So basically you go into messages, deleted messages, there's an archive. You do this on like your settings. There's an archive button. Went into that, you need his password, so hopefully you know your man's password. You go into that and I found just one text. So obviously he was like clearing out his archive, right? But this one he missed. It was a text from Bumble. Hey, your activation code is 7 whatever. From Monday, a couple days ago, right before he came to my house. So yeah, he downloaded Bumble, deleted that. I went into search history. There's like an archive button for that. Went into that. I left at 2 o'clock yesterday to go into work. He stayed here. He's gonna cook dinner, have like a little date night in the house, right? Literally no less than 20 minutes after I left for work, he was searching for work. And we have something in our relationship where we had already discussed that, and I was like, there's no place for porn in a relationship. Like I am not that girl. No.
She thought she had found the perfect boyfriend, but one late-night phone check uncovered a secret life she never expected.
Story time on how I was dating this guy who I thought was a cheater, but he ended up being a whole lot worse. I was dating this guy, let's call him Tyler, for like 7 months. Wasn't big on social media. He said it was toxic and was super weird about me posting pictures of him and stuff like that, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. I thought it was weird, but I didn't want to like disrespect him, so I just didn't post him. And when I would talk to my friends about it, they'd be like, oh, he totally has a girlfriend, or like he was seeing someone else or something. Another weird thing that I just thought of, he literally never invited me over to his house. Like he always came over to my house, and I'd always be like, oh, I could come hang out at your place, and he'd be like, no, tonight's not a good night. I just had weird suspicions, but I let them roll off my back because I didn't really care. Over time, I started noticing weird things about him. Like he always paid in cash, his phone was always on airplane mode, his family lived out of town and never visited him, and he barely really spoke of them, but it was just like super weird. After a while, I was like convinced this man was cheating on me, but I really liked him. So like, I didn't want to be like break up with him based off of like an assumption. So I kind of did some snooping. After he went to sleep one night, I like just like looked around in his pockets and stuff, and I found a second phone in his jacket. Surprise, surprise. Of course, there are so many girls in his phone, but that's not the worst part. I didn't want to confront him on it right away because this is a second phone that he just like randomly has that I didn't know about. So I was like, I'm gonna do like a little bit of a deep dive on this man. Let's see what this man's is all about. I googled his phone number because I was like, let's just see like what pops up on him. And it was kind of weird. A name Daniel something popped up, and I was like, who the fuck is Daniel? Well, then I started googling Daniel's name, and well, his picture popped up that he was wanted in multiple states. Okay, what was Daniel wanted for? Oh yeah, he was wanted for 3 women disappearing. I literally had the chills. I was freaking out, like, who am I dating? And mind you, the 3 girls that were missing looked literally exactly like me, like we're twins. So I called the police anonymously, gave them my address and all the information that they needed, and just acted super nonchalant in front of my boyfriend because I didn't want to raise any red flags. The next day, they literally came to my house and arrested him right there in my living room. After they cuffed him when they were walking out the door, he literally looks back at me, and in the most chilling voice ever, he stares straight into my eyes and he was like, you were next. But yeah, that was 2 years ago, and now he's on trial. Seriously, I thought I was catching a cheater, and nope, I was catching a serial killer. Anyways, moral of the story is just check the phone. You know, you might be catching a cheater, you might be catching a serial killer, you never know.
She thought she was dating a cheater. But after one late-night discovery, she realized the truth was far more terrifying.
My husband said he was going out of town for a work conference. I sneaked in on him packing. He ain't packed nothing but Nike outfits and cologne. So he hits me with this whole speech. He was like, babe, my job picked me for this exclusive leadership retreat. He was telling me how he was going to be gone for 3 days and he won't have any signal, just work stuff. Even made a fake itinerary. He literally printed it off of Canva. I didn't argue with him. I just kissed him and I was like, okay, baby, just take care of business. But let me tell y'all, baby, God don't sleep. While 2 days in his trip, I was scrolling on my Explore page on Instagram, and the girl that I don't even follow pops up. So out of curiosity, I click on it. And I'm on her page, and she low-key posting soft lunch pics and videos. Baby, she posting a man arm, 2 wine glasses, a hotel balcony. I did what any woman with common sense and pettiness in her spirit would do. Baby, I booked me a one-way flight, had me a red dress, and pulled up to the hotel. I walk in the lobby, and guess who I seen at the bar? Him and her just laughing, kiki and ha-ha. And y'all wanna know what I did? I'ma always keep it cute. I'm never gonna do the most. I walked up to them, I tapped her on the shoulder, I said, sis, I hope you enjoyed your little getaway that I paid for. So baby, she went and checked on out, and baby, he's still trying to check in.
Her husband said he was leaving for a work trip. But one random post on social media made her question everything.
Get unready with me while I tell you guys a story time on how I found out one of my exes was cheating on me and like what happened. Let's go. Okay, so like I was on and off with this guy. Sorry guys, it's because I have like these little hairs now. But I was on and off with this guy. Oh my god. We're not gonna put those on. We're not. Anyways, let's continue. So basically me and this guy was on and off, and like we dated and then we broke up, and then like a year or 2 years later we got back together. But let me tell you how I found out he was cheating. Okay, since he was like one of my first like little relationships, I didn't know like I didn't know people like cheat and like you're supposed to go through their phones so like you won't get cheated on. So I was dating this kid, right? Tell me why. One day we go to the mall. Okay, so I basically call him. Guys, I look crazy, but I basically called him because my cousins wanted to go to the mall. So I was like, okay, let me call him. Like, mind you, like we would hang out every day. Like he would pull up to my house every single day to hang out with me and my cousins. So this day, I don't know like what was going on, but he came to like pick us up. And when he came to pick us up, like the vibe was just like so off, and like everything was awkward, you know. So my cousins were like, oh no, he was like, oh, we need to stop for gas, right? And I was like, okay, like let's go. And then he was like, and I'll take you out to the mall after. And I was like, okay, like we can get down, you know, take pictures in the photo booth like every other couple. So basically we made it to the gas station, right? And he had his phone playing music. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna put a song on. And when I put the song on, my cousins were like, go through his phone. And I was like, what the heck? Like, no, like that's weird. And they were like, no, go through his phone, go through his phone. And then out of nowhere, he got a notification on Instagram. So like while I'm telling them no, he gets a message from a girl on Instagram. And they were like, fuck that, go through it. Mind you, these are my 2 boy cousins. Like I didn't think anything about it, but they were like, no, go through his phone right now. So I got his phone and we go on Instagram, right? We click on Instagram. This boy had 2 accounts, okay? I didn't know that. I didn't even like, I've never seen this boy's phone, so I never even knew that. So here it is. So we're literally going through it, right? Us three, them in the back and me in the front, while this guy is getting gas or something. I don't know what took him so long, but he took forever. So like I'm reading the messages with these girls, like oh my god, it was girl after girl after girl. So we're just reading it, me and my cousins, and they're like, he ain't shit, fuck him, this and that. And at that point I didn't even want to go to the mall no more, but since like I told my cousins we were gonna go, like I was like, all right, bet, like let's just go, fuck it. So then he comes back in the car and we just like pretend like nothing happened, you know, like I was just like whatever, like I'm just gonna like play my part, like I'm gonna do him worse. So my cousins are acting normal, we're all acting normal like we didn't see anything, and we get to the mall, right? And mind you, like I remember what this girl looked like because I just looked at her Instagram and they were texting like, when am I gonna see you, da, 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 da. You know. So since my cousins were like act normal, I was like okay, like bet. So I tell him, I'm like, come, like let's go. And then he was like, I'm not feeling good, like I just want to be alone, like I'm gonna take some time in the car and then I'm gonna get off and go walk around with you guys. So I was like okay, like that's fine, you know, like because he had issues with his dad and stuff. So I was like trying to understand him, like I was like okay, that's fine. So me and my cousins like get off of the car, and when we pulled up there was this girl sitting down at this table. Okay, she was sitting down and me and my cousins looked at her and I was like, damn, like she's pretty. And like I didn't think anything about it, like I didn't like really pay attention like that. So we go in, we're walking around, me and my cousins just living our best lives while he's outside, right? And then out of nowhere, like he starts lagging on me and ignoring me. So like I was like, what the heck? So like the whole time he's just saying like I need time to myself and this and that. So I was like okay, whatever. So me and my cousins went, we enjoyed our time at the mall, like, and then I texted him when we were done. Okay, so tell me why when we were walking out, the same girl was like walking back from being like in the parking lot, basically where his car was. So I was like, what the heck? So I started staring at this girl longer, and tell me why, she was the girl that he was texting. It was literally him, bro. So I was like, and like my cousins being my cousins, like they were like, nah bro, he was definitely doing something with her right now. And me being dumb, I was like, no he wasn't. Bro, we get back in the car and this was like sweating and like the car was hot and stuff. So my cousins just look at me like, and I was like whatever. So then we go to the store or the taco shop or something, and he got off again and he left his phone. Bro, she texted him saying like, oh I had a great time, this and that. Bro, they in the car while I was in the mall with my cousins, bro. So at that time, bro, I'm just freaking out because like what the heck, he just got nasty while we were in the freaking mall. So my cousins are in the back like he ain't shit, like he's a peach and this and that and this and that, and I was like about to start crying. So we go home and we pretend like nothing happened, okay? So then tell me why one day I hung out with one of his homies, and I guess his homie, like now I don't know where shit, like we hung out, my homegirl, me and him and his homeboy, basically like a little two thing. So we went to his house, we hung out and stuff, and tell me why I guess they had a problem or something, because the next day he texted me saying like, oh do you want his account because I have it and I be seeing what he be doing to you and you don't deserve that. So I was like, yes, give me that account, da da da. So I got it, bro, and there was hella bitches in there, bro, like back to back. So I'm just like, bro, like nah. So then I turned off my location and everything. He did it too. I guess this was paused and I never even paid attention. Okay, so like I did know what cheating was because like I got cheated on before him, but he was so ugly that I didn't think he would do me like that. So if you think your boyfriend, well like not your boyfriend, but like if you think an ugly guy will not cheat on you, he will cheat on you no matter how ugly he is, bro. So basically the end of the story, like I just blocked him on everything, and then like I told him what I seen, and he was just like trying to cry to me saying I'm sorry and this and that. This fool, bro, he moved away, like he's pussy. Oh wait, I can't say that, but he's a chicken. He moved away because he knew he had issues coming to him for trying to play me. Mind you, this guy used to like slap me and shit, and I would let him. I'm dumb. Don't ever let your boyfriend or anybody. So basically after that, like before he moved, he seen me one more time at the mall. He was like trying to follow me. He was begging me to take him back, and I was like, boy, bye. And I was with one of my homeboys and he was trying to fight him, and I was like, bro, you're embarrassing, like go away. But yeah, basically that's the end of this get unready with me and story time, because there's more to what he did, but like not as like he did do other stuff, but that was like the main thing that made me like deuces. But yeah, so let me know if y'all want more story times, because a lot of shit has happened in my life, so let me know. So this is how I look busted up, but I'm gonna go to sleep. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoy the story time.
She thought it was just a normal day out with her boyfriend. But after one unexpected message and a few suspicious moments, she uncovered a betrayal that had been happening right in front of her.